Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who were there in the morning function, would have heard me talking about the story of the Mount Everest, the highest mountain on this planet, 29,000 feet above sea level, minus 50 degrees centigrade, 30% of oxygen available than what we breathe here. Over the last 72 years, only 2,900 people have scaled the peak of Mount Everest. And one of them I spoke about in the morning was a man called Mark Ingley. And what was so different about him and the rest was that when he climbed the Mount Everest at the age of 47 years, he climbed it without legs. Because 25 years back, at the age of 22, he had lost both his legs climbing the same summit. Stuck in an ice cave for 15 days, and they had to be amputated. It was an inspiring story, and many parents told me that the moment the morning function finished. And the short break which I had, I happened to go and dig deeper. Just Googled through Wikipedia, and what I found was really amazing. Climbing the Mount Everest is 1 feat. Climbing without 2 legs is bigger. But you know what? As you research, you find so much more. Eric from USA scaled the peak. He was blind. Kim, South Korea, no fingers. Do you know how difficult it is to pull a rope, haul yourself up without fingers in your hands? Sudarshan from Nepal, without arms. How would he haul a rope? Have the hacket and pull himself up. Will Cross, USA, type 1 diabetes, for those of you know what it is. Ian Tuthill, UK, cancer. You know, climbing with more difficulty, with more challenges, makes you feel climbing Mount Everest normally maybe is not good enough. That's the reference you get. Do you know who is the youngest person ever to reach the base camp of Mount Everest? Base camp of Mount Everest is not across the road. It is 18,000 feet above sea level. Xenia, Spain. 0 years, 11 months, 11 months old, reaches base camp. El Reimer from USA, a 15-year-old, Down syndrome, Everest base camp. Matt Stanton, UK, cerebral palsy, reaches base camp of Mount Everest. Amazing. It's so amazing that when we feel we have climbed the summit, we feel it could be climbed harder and in a more difficult way. We are all parents here, sitting proud because our children have achieved. Our children are achievers in sports, achievers in academics, in co-curricular. All children are equal, but our children are first amongst equals. Why? Because they struggled harder. They gave their sweat and blood. They stayed awake when others slept. They ran harder. They worked harder. And therefore, they are going to be on stage to receive an award. We're proud, of course. We're proud as parents. We pat ourselves on the back. Why? Because we were there right besides them. We woke them up when they slept, and we stayed awake when they didn't sleep. We were there when they were weak. We were there when they were depressed, and we were there when they felt defeated. And therefore, we are proud parents that we stood by our children. Well done for that. But the message which we need to carry from here is, we cannot be complacent. Karan Madan, the IISc topper of the school. Do you know what marks he got? 100, 189. Somebody asked him, few marks more you would have been the topper of this country. Do you know what he replied? He said, ma'am, this is not my last exam of my life. I'll do that. And I know he will do it. When Monica and Ranveer missed the gold medal on the last but one hole, on the last day of the 4-day 72-hole tournament by a whisker from USA, and press asked Ranveer when he came here, what happened? He innocently said, next week I will win the gold in Macau. And he did it. That's the spirit which we need to carry with us. That's the way we need to go. And that is the one message we need to always tell our children. That when you reach the peak of one mountain, pat yourself, feel good, but remember, you are at the bottom of another, because the Mount Everest is still there. Thank you very much.